cow on this information. You feel me? We talking about today. If the Bible wasn't written when they said it was, should it be canceled? And I believe it should be because it destroys the premise of the book. It destroys the premise of the book. If you say God wrote the book, then back it up with the facts. We should see the original scrolls that Moses wrote, that Joshua wrote, and we should see a continuous securing of the information by a continuous priesthood from Moses to the very day, continuously preserving the literature as it was when Moses wrote it, when God gave it to Moses. If they did not do that, then it should be canceled because it destroys the premise of the book. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Hold on, family. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You go in the book and they'll tell you, oh, well, Genesis wasn't codified until, 200, what they say, BC. Man, this is the information that they are giving the people on the internet. That they are actually validating the fact that a lot of these books just not come into existence many thousands of years after when it was supposedly written according to the story of the Bible. If it's not according to the story of the Bible, it should be invalidated. You see what I'm saying? It should be thrown away because the premise is that it's inspired by God. I don't want to hear nobody talking about they codify. What that got to do with it? That ain't got nothing to do. That ain't what the book said. The book said this is how it happened. This is supposedly God. Who am I to believe? Am I to believe some fake scholars on the internet, or am I to believe God? You see, so you know who I would choose. I'm not gonna choose man. So but we understand that there's no God, but we trying to get this, an opportunity to work, but we know it ain't gonna work because we know that all the fabrication has left holes for days that you cannot seal up. You cannot seal these holes up. Nah, I'm gonna get off into this and later on now, but I'm gonna deal with the chronology of the Old Testament and the New Testament based on what they teach in the seminary school. They got this information. And the fact that y'all are just believers out there. You feel me? Black power to all my family out there tuning in. Listen to me what I'm telling. I'm gonna blow y'all mind today. Because nobody is giving y'all this information because they don't want you to have the information because they know you're going to change your mind. Period. You're going to change your mind. And so I'm going to help you to see the truth for what it is by putting the Old Testament and the New Testament in chronological order. It blows my mind to a large extent because when you deal with the Old Testament, people open up the Old Testament and it starts with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. Now, I tell y'all that Exodus, according to the story, Exodus is the oldest book. But technically, let me make sure my data on. Hold on. Okay, that's all. Yeah, it's Job. So you already know right there that it's not in chronological order. And if you put the Bible in chronological order, it's going to take all the smoke out the Bible. You ain't going to be like, man, you know what I'm saying? So they fabricated, putting it in a certain kind of order. You see what I'm saying? And so how did Job come before Moses? How did Job, what that got to do? I mean, what do that got without the first 5 books of the Bible? What is Job? So Job came first? Is that the reality of it? Let's talk about that. Did Job come first? And if that's so, man, that changes the whole narrative of the book. And I'm glad, because a lot of people talk about Egypt and all it is, and that Egypt is the son of Ham. And see, Genesis wasn't codified until 2000 B, and that's a lie. That's a lie. Man, I got on AI. Listen, I got on AI so bad. Wait a minute. I don't even know if I know Isaiah was in there too. But Isaiah, I don't even think Isaiah was in the top 5. I don't even think Isaiah was in the top 5. Man, you go get right with Jesus by getting off of this live stream. Leave him on there now, Ray. Don't put him on. Don't get right with you. No. Don't come on here talking about y'all sacrifice that man. That man said he wanted to live. Steve Fox, Jesus wanted to live. He didn't want to die for you. Stop lying on Jesus. He did not want to die for you, Steve. So you got to come to grips with that, Steve. You got to come to grips with that, Steve. You know, you're delusional. I know you thinking that you could be out here and do wicked things and then you can run and say, in the name of Jesus. No, Steve. You got to stop that wicketry, Steve, and you got to stand on your own too. You must be responsible for your own sins. I believe, let me see. In chronological order. I just did it. Let me see. You might already been tapped in. You might already tapped in. Let me see. Let me see. I had it in here. It's right here. I got it. Okay, here you go. Isaiah was the 7th book. It wasn't even in the top 5. It wasn't even in the top 5. You talking about Job is number 1. Then you got some Psalms, not the whole book. You got some Psalms, number 2. And I'm going to talk about the Song of Deborah was number 3. One of the oldest Hebrew poems. Number 4. Say you got Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. See, that's why Dr. Ben always told him. He was already like the Genesis wasn't a part of the original Torah. They lying. There was only 4 books: Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That's true, man. Genesis wasn't with them. Genesis came much later. The book of Amos was 5th. The book of Hosea was 6th. The book of Isaiah was 7th. The book of Micah was 8. The book of Jeremiah was 9. And Ezekiel was 10. Yeah, so I mean, imagine if the Bible was in that order. You see, it'd take all the juice. So that show you that they wrote a lot of them books after the fact to make it synchronize. Yeah, they wrote them books much later so that they blended them books together so that it was synchronized. So we got you today, family. Why is Job the oldest? I tell you what, we're going to be doing the chronology. We're going to be coming real soon. That's a part of it. I tell you what, stay tuned. and we're gonna get on that. And so I've read many books, encyclopedias that did say that even before this. But I'm gonna tap in and get you a definite answer as to why, and I don't know why. I don't know why they say that. I bet you they ain't got it, and they saying that, but I bet you they ain't got no damn text that go back to no 1800 BC. I could tell you that, because the Dead Sea Scrolls is already the oldest. So that's a very good question that you asked, why Job is the oldest when they ain't got nothing older than the Dead Sea Scroll. Very good question. And that right there gonna lead you to another back-breaking fact that a lot of people ain't gonna be able to accept. Anyway, family, wait a minute. Let me drop this link in here right here before I get out of here. We gonna have a hell of a time today. So y'all just stay tuned. Don't you hesitate. Well, Ray already in there. I'll do this on the next one. We're gonna have a hell of a day today, family. Stay tuned. Rock with the general. Get over to Patreon. We got fire there. We going on Patreon today with a hell of fire lineup. Don't miss it. See you soon. Black Power.